There is a coffee that sells for $600 a pound. It's made from beans that an animal ate, digested, and passed. And the strangest part isn't how it's made. It's that the people who pay the most for it are almost never told the one thing that would change their mind. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that is. You've probably heard it called cat poop coffee. That name is wrong on the very first word. The animal isn't a cat. It's an Asian palm civet, a small nocturnal creature that's more closely related to a mongoose than to anything sleeping on your couch. It lives across Indonesia, it hunts at night, and it has one talent that turned it into a luxury industry. It can tell, better than any human picker, exactly which coffee cherries are ripe. That matters more than it sounds. On a coffee farm, workers strip branches by hand and take everything: ripe, underripe, overripe. A civet doesn't do that. It eats only what's perfect. And then something genuinely interesting happens inside it. As the beans move through the civet's digestive tract, proteolytic enzymes go to work. They break down specific proteins in the bean, the same proteins that turn into bitterness when you roast them. The bean comes out the other side chemically altered, smoother, less acidic. Farmers collect it, wash it, dry it, roast it, and sell it as kopi luwak. Tasting notes describe it as earthy and syrupy, with chocolate and caramel underneath. All of that is real chemistry, and for a long time it was also genuinely rare. Wild civets, wild forest, whatever you could find on the ground. That version of this coffee barely exists anymore. Because here's what happens when something rare starts selling for $600 a pound. Somebody figures out how to make more of it. And in this case, more of it meant cages. Today, a large share of the kopi luwak on the market comes from caged civets on production farms. Researchers from Oxford University and World Animal Protection went into these operations in Bali and documented what they found. Animals kept in bare wire cages, open sores, infections, behavior consistent with severe psychological distress. Every single plantation they examined failed basic animal welfare standards. Not most of them, everyone. And there's a detail in those findings that turns the whole product into a contradiction. The caged civets are force-fed coffee cherries, which means the animal's selectivity, the one thing that made this coffee special in the first place, is gone. A civet in a cage doesn't choose the perfect cherry. It eats whatever lands in the tray. So the quality drops while the price stays exactly where it was. Which raises the obvious question: is there a version of this that doesn't involve a cage? There is. It's just far rarer than the coffee itself. Genuinely ethical kopi luwak comes from wild civets, where farmers walk the forest floor and collect what was left behind naturally. No cages, no force feeding, no interference. The problem is that you almost never know which one you're holding. There's no reliable way to verify it from a label. But there is one clue worth remembering. Real wild collected coffee cannot be cheap. There simply isn't enough of it. So when you see civet coffee at a bargain price, you've learned something about how it was made. And civets, it turns out, aren't the only animal in this business. In the 2000s, a Canadian entrepreneur named Blake Dinkin took the same basic idea and scaled it up dramatically. His product is called Black Ivory Coffee, and it's made by elephants. Arabica cherries are fed to rescued Asian elephants at a refuge in Thailand, and the beans are recovered afterward from their dung. An elephant's digestion runs far longer than a civet's, somewhere between 12 and 72 hours, which means a much longer fermentation. The result is described with notes of cacao, pure tea, tamarind, and a faint edge of tobacco. It sells for around $150 for 2 servings, which makes it, cup for cup, one of the most expensive drinks on the planet. And this one answers the ethical question differently. The elephants are rescues. The program helps fund their care. The mahouts who look after them have documented relationships with specific animals going back decades. It doesn't make animal processed coffee automatically ethical, but it does prove something important. The cruelty in kopi luwak was never inevitable. It was a business decision. Which brings us to the thing I promised you at the start. Here it is. In blind tastings, animal processed coffee routinely loses. Not to other exotic coffees, to ordinary well-made specialty coffee that no animal ever touched. Professional cuppers have described kopi luwak over and over as flat, muted, and lacking complexity. The digestion strips out bitterness, yes, but it strips out the bright, acidic floral notes that make great coffee interesting in the first place. What you're left with is smooth and boring. So read that back. The most expensive coffee in the world is not the best coffee in the world. It isn't even close. You're not paying for a superior cup. You're paying for a story. And in most cases, for an animal in a cage that made that story possible. That's the thing nobody tells you before you hand over the money. If you want to spend that kind of money on something genuinely extraordinary, buy a single origin from a roaster that publishes the farm, the altitude, and the harvest date. You'll pay a fraction of the price and you'll taste more. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the strangest coffee you've ever tried? Tell me in the comments. I read them. And if you learned something today, do two things. Subscribe to the Coffee Codex because there's a new coffee story every week. And share this video with the coffee lover in your life, the one who'd want to know what's really in that cup. Next week, we're going somewhere stranger, a coffee that grows on the side of an active volcano in soil that should kill the plant. It doesn't. And the reason why is one of the best stories in coffee. See you then.